In the 250 division, finishing in third, riding for Rockstar Energy, Husqvarna Factory Racing, Michael Mosman. Whatever you like. Yeah, where it says third. Finishing in second, riding for Monster Energy Star Racing Yamaha, Dylan Ferrandis. And your winner riding for Monster Energy Pro Circuit Kawasaki, Austin Faulkner. In the 450 division, finishing in third, riding for Rockstar Energy Husqvarna Factory Racing, Jason Anderson. Finishing in second, riding for Monster Energy Kawasaki, Eli Tomac. And your winner, riding for Team Honda HRC, Ken Roxon. You guys didn't give the 250 guys much love. Michael, good ride.
Thanks.
Kind of a rough start to the season with some crashes and some LCQs, but obviously the speed's been there. How was it tonight, just kind of putting it all together, even though the third main was a little rough, just being able to put a whole night of racing together and get on the podium?
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a rough start to the season, and there's been a lot higher expectations just with all the progression last year, and then yeah, to been riding really good in the off season, and so expectations have been high and they've been missed, and just haven't been riding like myself on the weekends, and it's definitely been disappointing. But yeah, the difference this weekend, I don't know, I just had a different mindset. I was more relaxed, more calm, and we've been working on the bike some, and I think really making some improvements. So yeah, to get up on the podium, and I think one of the things that's been really key is my starts. I feel really comfortable on the start right now, and yeah, I hope to see that continue.
Dylan, congrats on the second. On the podium, you told me that track kind of turned a little bit simple in the race, and you even said your heart rate was maybe the lowest you've ever had in a race. Just kind of talk me through the track conditions and how that played into your night.
Yeah, I think the track was not easy, but less rhythm than usual, and yeah, that makes the track more faster and with more place to breathe, and maybe more easier physically. So that's what I felt tonight. But anyway, the start was a big problem for me tonight. I missed my two first start, and don't really know why, and it was a little bit better on the last one. But yeah, I think that cost me the win tonight. The speed was good, the bike was really awesome, and yeah, just need to improve on the start, and yeah, it will help me a lot, I think.
Awesome, good ride. Coming into the week, you're 22 points down in the championship after what happened a week ago, and you're probably obviously taking it race by race, but now that you've been able to get another win, and Justin has had his issues today, does that kind of change things back again, give you a little bit more hope than maybe you had, say, yesterday or even this morning?
I mean, it's always good to go from 22 points down to 10. So, I don't know. It's still a long season. I knew that I had to dig myself out of a hole, and I still kind of have a hole to dig out of. So, I still got to make up some points, and yeah, I mean, that's what has to happen. And I wasn't really, I wasn't going to stress myself out about it. Obviously, last weekend was not good, and I lost a lot of points, but it's a long season. A lot of stuff can happen. Obviously, I gained 12 points in one race tonight, so that just shows that anything can happen, and just take it race by race, obviously.
Jason, congrats. Will did a follow-up question with you on the podium about what do you need to maybe catch up speed-wise to Kenny and Eli, and I wasn't able to catch the answer to that, but I wanted to follow up and see what it is that you did say. What is it just in the speed-wise department that you feel you need to tighten up to be right with these two that are just seem to be about an inch in front of you?
Yeah, I think to be in the battle with these guys, I need to be in the start, and it seems to be whenever I get to third or I get to second, or even when I'm sitting in fifth, these guys break away so quick. So I think just being up there and getting myself in the race right away. I think as far as speed goes, I think sometimes they have a little bit more speed than me, but I think if I could get up there and keep seeing it week in and week out and being in the battle and just try and learn as much as I can. I think I put myself in a good position as far as, points and stuff like that. It's time for me to start trying to charge and just get better and learn and stay up here in the top 5.
Eli, congrats. The main event, you were sticking to that very inside gate. Dylan was doing the same thing in the 250 class. Was that a decision for you to make sure that you were in position to, somewhat be a little defensive to where you were at least going to be in that top 5 running? It didn't seem like a whole shot gate, but more of a I can be top 5 kind of thing. Is that what you were going with tonight?
Yeah, it was a little bit of just defense there, and I felt like, most of the time, or half the time, half those starts I did come out, top 5, and then on the restarts though, I didn't capitalize on those or put myself in the best position. So that was like the difference tonight for sure. And then Moto 1, Ken was had good reaction on that outside in the sand and ran away with that one. So just needed to be a little bit better in a few areas tonight. So kind of was the number 2 guy tonight.
Congrats, Ken. 2 red flags tonight for the 450 class. Just kind of take us through what you go through in that moment and what you do to recover. We know that the heart rate's high and you have to kind of reset, but I've always been kind of curious of what you actually have to do in that few minutes where you're kind of resetting everything. What goes through your mind and even physically, what do you have to do to get kind of back to zero?
Well, yeah, it was a lot of madness going on tonight. After that second start, I went all the way up there and started braking, and the guys on the inside just plowed to the front right there. I was kind of shocked that way. It was kind of like a 250 start. They just didn't let off, and obviously that ended up in a red flag. So, but I just try to have a clean slate every time something like that happens. I had good battles tonight with Eli, obviously, and just had a lot of fun. And I'm really confident in my starts right now, so that helps. But yeah, those red flags, they're never fun to see. First off, for the person that is down, and every time you line back up on a start, there's 22 guys or so going down and start straight into the first turn. So some sketchiness happening down there, and any extra start definitely doesn't help. But overall, we just stayed out of trouble and had 2 whole shots tonight, and just overall just rode really well and calm, and just we were really focused. So I'm still blown away on going, having 3 main event wins, and yeah, it's great. I had an awesome time tonight.
Congrats.
Chris from Cooksey Media. So Dylan, we were informed that you got a 12-month probation, and I could tell tonight you were kind of tentative when you're passing people. Was that in your mind, and did it kind of keep you from pulling the trigger a couple times?
No. I try. I don't think I'm a dirty rider, so I just made a mistake last week, and I just rode the same as usual tonight, and I tried to be the fastest as I can, and when I make the pass on Austin, was clean, I think, and for sure I will be careful now when I have Christian behind me, and but other than that, I just rode normal.
So what does that probation exactly mean? What they tell you? If you bump somebody, what's going to happen?
So if I do another dirty pass or aggressive pass like I did last weekend, I will get a fine of $3,000 and more if they think it's more than what I did last week. I can get penalty on point or stuff like that. But basically, I will get a $3,000 penalty.
Ken, so I don't think I've ever seen anybody pass Eli in the sand like you did in that first one. Is that just confidence from getting that win a couple weeks ago?
I wouldn't say it has anything to do with getting the win a couple weeks ago, but I made up my mind way before the finish line already that I was going to go to the outside. I don't know. I kind of had a feeling that both those guys were going to go to the inside, and so I just first off didn't want to get Rusu, but just kind of took a chance. And it's not really a chance because I was riding offensively and not defensively. So just trusted in it.
Kellen Brower, Racetracks, Austin. It looked like you kind of settled into that third main event into a pace. Was that just management, or were you thinking that you needed to push forward towards the end?
Yeah, I definitely settled. probably a little too much. I just wasn't as comfortable, I guess, as I was in the first two, and I just kind of got tight. Just being kind of like fourth, fifth, sixth, going into the first couple rhythms and stuff. I almost like there were guys. I mean, we were all kind of pinballing off of each other, and I almost ran into the back of somebody on a Yamaha, and it just kind of spooked me a little bit. Like I was just kind of tightened up. I mean, it happens. And then Dylan ended up getting by me, and I knew that I didn't have to beat him to get the overall, but I was like, I don't want to let him just, get a guy in between us. I was like, that's the last thing that I want. So I tried to just latch on, and once I got into third, just tightened up a little bit, and they kind of got away. So I was just, hoping that he wouldn't catch him. To be honest, because I figured that if he did, then I would probably get second overall. But I was just riding, trying to, just management.
Kenny, with the three mains, the sweep there, I know they're never easy to win, but did this one kind of feel easy at all?
No, I don't know if that's the right way of saying it at all. I think starts help for sure. Nothing's ever easy, and obviously in the first one, I had Eli right on my tail the whole time, and so we had some good battles going on, and even going into the last one before the red flag, we were kind of buried in the pack, so we were going back and forth, passing each other, which was awesome because, everything was super clean and it was hard riding, so had a lot of fun. And I was kind of at that point, even though you can technically improve your start, but I was kind of disappointed in seeing the red flag. Just, it was kind of like, dang, another one. So, but again, just clean mentally everything out and just focus on the last one to try and improve.
And Eli, you got close in that first main. What was the difference that let Ken get away there?
It was really just like track position. We were like riding identical in that Moto 1, so that was it. Was the first lap pass. I couldn't make any ground, and it kind of just stayed the same there. So I don't know. We were kind of just mirroring each other in Moto 1.
Brian Converse, Motocross Action Magazine. This question is for any of you guys up there. We talk a lot about starts, and starts are key. Starts in Glendale are a completely different beast. That start straight, I think we did the math, was about 429 feet. You guys are bringing a lot of momentum into that first turn, and I think we saw a couple sketchy moments out there. Bring us through that for you guys. That starts as challenge.
Well, I kind of prefer longer starts because I feel like it kind of spaces out the field a little bit. That should, take the sketchiness away a little bit, but at the same time, a start is a start and anything can really happen. And yes, we do get up to pretty high speeds, as you can see. But I'm normally a bigger fan of longer starts because then also for positioning, it doesn't really matter too much whether you're inside or outside. So you can technically get a good start from anywhere.
I think the one thing about the start, though, that is kind of weird is like you could be in the middle gates and you can beat all the guys around you and feel like you have clear space, and then there's a guy on the outside that you do not see coming, and they just come from out there and they're trying to sweep that corner, and you're coming in and you kind of spook each other in the first corner.
I think we saw several of those tonight.
Yeah, I think the first red flag, I think you saw that happen, and it was carnage. But at the same time, it does space it out a lot more, and I think you could really see who gets an actual good start. And there's a lot more going on. Obviously, you have to shift. Some of the starts are so short we don't even shift. So yeah, it's crazy. I'm sure the fans love it too.
Rebecca Romas with Big MX Media. My question for Eli is, do you think the intensity of the mains make the tracks break down more drastically during Triple Crowns, or do you think it's due to how much water was put down?
I think it's overall time on the track, and in our normal schedule, we get a pretty good prep before the night show, and then you can tell they're a little bit rushed for their work. They do what they can, right, the dirt works guys, but I feel like the track gets more broke down every time. And tonight, like the whoops, really slick. I don't know, it held up somewhat okay because it's a hard pack track, so it just got a little bit slicker every time around. But they get really, really torn up when the dirt's softer. So for a Triple Crown, I felt like the dirt worked out.
Steve Lawyer, Moto X Addicts. This question is for Kenny. Kenny, when you have Eli like breathing down your throat for like a whole main event, can you take us through like how you react to it? Like, does your heart rate eventually come down to get used to him being there, tune him out, or like how does it go for you? Because in the crowd it's very intense, but for us, like, does it just become like another lap after a while?
Well, it's experience, but also it's not the first time we do that to each other, you know. So ultimately, it's just years and years of racing, and it doesn't, you know, it's very important to just keep calm and keep a cool head, because you just kind of gotta expect. I mean, you hear the bikes and whatnot, but you can tell when you hit a turn not as good or a rhythm section not as good, and somebody's coming to the inside. So it's kind of instincts a little bit just over the years and collecting experience.
Here in the back, Andrew Kurland, Acceleration Nation for Ken. Eli kind of alluded to, with the Triple Crown format, you're racing a lot more than just a heat race and then the main event. How much more endurance does a Triple Crown event have just in Supercross?
Yeah, well, obviously we have our entire day program, and then going into the night show, if you compare those two, it's quite a bit more just pure fast lap race time, that's for sure. But at the same time, we prepare ourselves for it, so shouldn't really affect anything. But yes, the Triple Crown races, they make for a lot more pure fast lap like racing time. And you know, like you said, going into the heat race and then straight into the main, we're really not on the track that much. But tonight, and especially with all the restarts, we rode a lot for sure.
Final question for the 250 riders. Now that you're 4 rounds into the championship and the breaks kind of coming up here in the next few weeks, overall, are you happy with your program, with your riding, your bike, where you stand in the points, and ultimately, what are you looking forward to close out these last two? What's the goal? Michael, I'll start with you.
Happy where I'm at in the points? No. Definitely still striving and wanting to go forward. Happy with the bike. We're still working on a few things. Got the starts down. The bike's really fast, and but just working on the whoops. It's definitely been a weakness of mine, and I think Dylan passed me in the whoops tonight. And just working kind of in that area in particular. And then as far as just looking like forward to the break a little bit to get healthy again. I've had a couple big ones, so overall solid.
No.
I think the only one happy is the guy who wore the red plate tonight. So for sure we're not really pumped, but I mean the bike is really, from my side, the bike is really good. The team is working really hard for me, and like I said before, we need to improve on start, and but on the rest we feel really confident. And this break gonna be weird because it's 6 weeks. It's gonna be really long, so we will have plenty of time to do whatever we want. So we see, but we still have two big races to manage.
Yeah, I feel like you're gonna have to ask us in 2 weeks or before the break, because if it just depends. If you have momentum, then you're dreading the break. You want to keep racing, but if you need to regroup, you need a break, you need some time off, you need to, I don't know, maybe ride a little bit outdoors and then come back. I don't know, whatever you maybe work on the bike, whatever your deal is. That's gonna determine how you feel about the break. For me, I feel like we worked on a lot this week on the bike because whoops have been not the strongest point for me. I've had a couple of crashes in them this season, so we worked on a lot of stuff with the bike. We got it better this week, so I mean, I don't really know how I feel about the break. I just know that I just need to keep trying to win races and make up points, really.
Congrats, guys. Thank you.